Unit 1. Word list. Agree. To agree is to have the same opinion or belief as another person.
The students agree they have too much homework.
Alcohol. Alcohol is a type of drink that can make people drunk.
A person should not drive a car after he or she has been drinking alcohol.
Arrive. To arrive is to get somewhere.
They arrived at school at 7 a.m.
August. August is the 8th month of the year.
Is your birthday in August?
Boat. A boat is a vehicle that moves across water.
There is a small boat on the lake.
Breakfast. Breakfast is the morning meal.
I ate eggs for breakfast.
Camera. A camera is a piece of equipment that takes pictures.
I brought my camera on my vacation.
Capital. A capital is a city where a country's government is based.
The capital of the United States is Washington, D.C.
Catch. To catch is to grab or get something.
Did you catch the ball during the baseball game?
Duck. A duck is a small water bird.
People feed ducks at the lake.
Enjoy. To enjoy is to like something.
The woman enjoys riding her bicycle.
Invite. To invite is to ask someone to come to a place or event.
I will invite my friends to my birthday party.
Love. To love is to like something or someone a lot.
I love my family very much.
Month. A month is one of the 12 periods of time in 1 year.
January is the first month of the year.
Travel. To travel is to go to a faraway place on vacation or business.
They will travel to Argentina this summer.
Typical. If something is typical, it is normal, or something that usually happens.
My typical breakfast is toast and eggs.
Visit. To visit is to go and spend time in another place or see another person.
She wants to visit her grandmother.
Weather. Weather is the temperature and the state of the outdoors.
Today's weather is rainy and cloudy.
Week. A week is a period of time that is 7 days long.
What are you doing next week?
Wine. Wine is an alcoholic drink made from grapes.
The store carried both red and white wine. The Amalfi Coast. The Amalfi Coast in Italy is a beautiful place to travel. It's a beautiful area with an interesting culture. Located on the Tyrrhenian Sea next to the Mediterranean in southern Italy, the Amalfi Coast has high mountains and amazing beaches. Amalfi is on the west coast of Italy, and it takes less than 4 hours to drive there from Rome, the country's capital. You'll love it from the moment you arrive there. There are many activities for travelers, including beautiful beaches for swimming. You can also play games on the beach and catch frisbees. A boat trip is a good way to spend the day, and you may see ducks and other birds sitting on the water. Fishing is also a popular activity. There are dozens of villages on the Amalfi Coast, and you can visit one of them to see how a typical local person lives. If you're friendly, You might even get invited into someone's house to enjoy home-cooked Italian food. Italians like drinking alcohol, especially wine. The Amalfi Coast has lots of gardens to explore. Italy is famous for its pizza and pasta. However, the Amalfi Coast is also well known for fish and octopus because it is located next to the water. Pastries are a popular breakfast food on the Amalfi Coast. August is a popular month to travel to the Amalfi Coast because the weather is warm. It's easy to spend a week traveling around the area. Make sure to take a camera so you can take a lot of photos. We're sure you'll agree that it's a great place.
Unit 2. Word list. Adventure. An adventure is a fun or exciting thing that you do.
Riding in the rough water was an adventure.
Approach. To approach something means to move close to it.
The boy approached his school.
Carefully. Carefully means with great attention, especially to detail or safety.
The baby carefully climbed down the stairs.
Chemical. A chemical is something that scientists use in chemistry.
The scientist mixed the chemicals.
Create. To create means to make something new.
She created an igloo from blocks of snow.
Evil. Evil describes something or someone bad or cruel, not good.
They felt a strange, evil presence as they got closer to the house.
Experiment. An experiment is a test that you do to see what will happen.
The student did an experiment in science class.
Kill. To kill someone or something is to make them die.
I killed the fly.
Laboratory. A laboratory is a room where a scientist works.
My mother works in a laboratory.
Laugh. Laugh is the sound made when someone is happy or a funny thing occurs.
The sound of her laugh filled the room.
Loud. If a sound is loud, it is strong and very easy to hear.
The man's voice was so loud that we all could hear him.
Nervous. When a person is nervous, they think something bad will happen.
The boy became nervous when he heard the news.
Noise. A noise is an unpleasant sound.
The crying baby made a loud noise.
Project. A project is a type of work that you do for school or a job.
His afternoon work project was to paint the room green.
Scare. To scare someone is to make them feel afraid.
My uncle was scared by what he saw in the room.
Secret. A secret is something that you do not tell other people.
The two boys were sharing a secret.
Shout. To shout is to say something loudly.
My boss shouted at me because I was late for work.
Smell. To smell something means to use your nose to sense it.
The two friends smelled the flower.
Terrible. If something is terrible, it is very bad.
The way he treated his classmate was terrible.
Worse. If something is worse, it is of poorer quality than another thing.
Business was worse this month than last month.
The laboratory. Mia's father had a laboratory, but she had no idea what was in it. Her dad always closed and locked the door when he went in. She knew that he used it to do projects for work. He never told Mia what these projects were. One night, Mia approached the door to the laboratory. She stopped and thought, "I wonder what crazy experiment he is doing now." Suddenly, she heard a loud noise. It sounded like an evil laugh. The noise scared her, so she walked quickly back to her room. The next night, her friend Liz came to her house. When Liz arrived, Mia told her about the night before. "Oh, it was terrible," she said. "Why don't we see what is in there?" Liz asked. "It will be a fun adventure." Mia felt nervous about going into her father's laboratory, but she agreed. As always, the door was locked. They waited until Mia's father left the laboratory to eat dinner. "He didn't lock the door," Liz said. "Let's go." The laboratory was dark. The girls walked down the stairs carefully. Mia smelled strange chemicals. What terrible thing was her father creating? Suddenly, they heard an evil laugh. It was even worse than the one Mia heard the night before. What if a monster was going to kill them? Mia had to do something. She shouted for help. Mia's father ran into the room and turned on the lights. "Oh no," he said. "You must have learned my secret." "Your monster tried to kill us," Mia said. "Monster?" he asked. "You mean this?" He had a pretty doll in his hands. The doll laughed. The laugh didn't sound so evil anymore. "I made this for your birthday. I wanted to give it to you then, but you can have it now. I hope you like it." Unit 3. Word list. Alien. An alien is a creature from a different world.
The alien came in peace.
Among. If you are among certain things, they are all around you.
There was a red apple among the green ones.
Chart. A chart is a list of information.
We used a chart to see how we had improved.
Cloud. A cloud is a group of water drops in the sky.
The sky was filled with white clouds.
Describe. To describe is to say or write what someone or something is like.
They described their tree as colorful, with gold ribbon and a star.
Ever. Ever means at any time.
Going skiing last winter was the most fun I've ever had.
Fail. To fail means you do not succeed in what you try to do.
Since he failed to get the job, he was sad.
Grade. A grade is a score or mark given to someone's work.
I managed to get good grades on my report card.
Instead. Instead means in place of.
He ate the carrot instead of the ice cream.
Library. A library is a place where you go to read books.
The library at school is full of books.
Photograph.
A photograph is a picture taken with a camera.
I took this photograph with my cell phone.
Planet. A planet is a large round thing in space.
Saturn is the planet with the ring around it.
Report. A report is something someone writes for school or work.
Karen had trouble writing her report.
Several. Several is more than two, but not many.
He had to read several books for class.
Shape. An object's shape is the arrangement of its sides and surfaces.
Even with your eyes closed, you can feel the shape of it.
Solve. To solve something is to find an answer to it.
All the students could easily solve the math problem.
Suddenly. If something happens suddenly, it happens quickly and unexpectedly.
I was surprised when my friend suddenly shouted, "Happy birthday!"
Suppose. To suppose is to guess.
I suppose I should go home now.
Understand. To understand something, you need to know what it means.
Henry could not understand the message.
View. To view is to look at something.
Michael likes to view himself in the mirror. The report. Lee sat among the books at the library and thought about his group project. They had to turn it in soon, but he hadn't even started his part. Jack and Claire were in his group. They had worked hard. They were also very smart, and Lee didn't want them to get a bad grade. Jack did the report. He wrote a lot of very good sentences and described things clearly and carefully. Claire drew a nice map of the stars. Now, Lee needed to do his part of the project. Well, I suppose I need to start my model, Lee thought. Making a model of a planet was really hard. Lee tried to read several books, but he couldn't understand any of the charts. "We're going to fail because of me," Lee said. He put his head down on the table and said, "I wish I could see a planet and an alien instead of having to read about it." Suddenly, he had a great idea that would help him solve his problem. Why not go on the web and look for photographs of the Earth and other planets taken from space? They would give him a really good view of the planets they had to talk about in their report. Instead of a bad grade, his group would have the best project ever. The photos of Earth showed lots of clouds, but you could still see the shapes of land and seas on Earth. He also looked at photos of Mars. Lee now had plenty of ideas for making a model of the planet Mars. All he had to do was to turn his ideas into a model. He used a small ball to help him make the shape he wanted and then painted it to look like the photos of Mars that he had seen. Sometimes, seeing is much more helpful than just reading.
Unit 4. Word list. Appropriate. When a thing is appropriate, it is right or normal.
It's appropriate to wear a suit when you go to the office.
Avoid. To avoid something is to stay away from it.
Avoid the broken bottle on the floor.
Behave. To behave is to act in a particular way, especially to be good.
She always behaves well when her father is around.
Calm. When someone is calm, they do not get excited or upset.
A nice warm bath makes me feel so calm.
Concern. Concern is a feeling of worry.
I was filled with concern after reading the newspaper.
Content. To be content is to be happy and not want more.
The baby looked very content sitting on the floor.
Expect. If you expect something to happen, you believe it will happen.
I expect the bus to be here very soon.
Frequently. When something happens frequently, it happens often.
We meet frequently, either at the beginning or end of the week.
Habit. A habit is a thing that you do often.
Smoking is a bad habit that can kill you.
Instruct. To instruct is to teach.
My teacher instructs us in several subjects.
Issue. An issue is an important topic.
The men spoke about issues that were important to the people.
None. None means not any of something.
He spent all his money. There is none left.
Patient. If people are patient, they don't become angry or upset easily.
I had to be patient and wait until 5 o'clock to leave.
Positive. If something is positive, it is good.
She has a positive future ahead of her after finishing college.
Punish. To punish means to make someone suffer for breaking the rules or laws.
To punish me, my teacher had me stand in the corner.
Represent. To represent is to speak or act for a person or group.
My lawyer will represent me in court.
Shake. To shake is to move back and forth or up and down quickly.
When people shake hands, it usually means they agree.
Spread. To spread is to move out to cover a larger area.
I like to spread butter on my toast.
Stroll. To stroll means to walk slowly and calmly.
My dog and I strolled through the park today.
Village. A village is a very small town.
There are only a few houses in my village.
The dog's bell. John's dog was a bad dog. He bit people frequently. John was concerned about this. It was not an appropriate way for a dog to behave. His friends in the village always expected the dog to bite them. The news about John's dog spread through the village. None of the people wanted to go to John's house. John tried to instruct the dog to behave, but it never worked. He tried to be patient and teach the dog to be calm. That also didn't work. John didn't want to punish the dog. How will I stop my dog's bad habit? John asked himself. John's friend came to talk to him about the issue. During their important meeting, his friend said, the people in the village asked me to represent them. We want your dog to stop this habit. Why don't you put a bell around the dog's neck? This way, we would hear your dog coming down the street. John thought this was a great idea. Now people could stay away from the dog. It would not be able to bite anyone anymore. The dog liked the bell too. People looked at him when they heard his bell. This made the dog very content. He liked the sound the bell made when he walked. One day, John's dog strolled through the village and met some other dogs. He expected them to want a bell like his, but they laughed at his bell. They said the bell made people avoid him. John's dog shook his head. No, they look at me because they like the bell. The other dog said, "You have the wrong idea about what makes you popular. Of course they like your bell. It tells them where you are so they can avoid you. You aren't able to bite them anymore." You see, being popular isn't something positive when it's for the wrong reason. Unit 5. Word list. Active. When someone is active, they move a lot or have a lot of things to do.
It is important to be active and not sit around all the time.
Adult. An adult is a person who is more than 18 years old.
My mom and dad are adults.
Age. Age is how many years someone has lived.
She died at the age of 80.
Bad. When something is bad, it is not good.
She is unhappy because she had a bad day.
Balance. Balance is when two or more things are equal.
A good balance between work and fun helps keep you healthy.
Bike. A bike is a vehicle with two wheels powered by a human.
He rides his bike to school every day.
Choose. To choose is to pick something or make a decision.
I have to choose between taking art classes and sports lessons.
Doctor. A doctor is a person who studies medicine and helps sick people.
You should go to the doctor when you are sick.
During. During an event means while the event was happening.
Did you sleep during the movie?
Football. Football is a sport with 11 members and an oval-shaped ball.
Football is a popular sport in the United States.
Fun. When something is fun, it is enjoyable.
We had a fun time at the birthday party.
Game. A game is an activity where people compete against each other.
Let's play a board game tonight.
Heart. A heart is an organ that keeps the body alive.
My heart beats fast when I am nervous.
Golf. Golf is a sport with clubs and a small white ball.
People play golf in nice weather.
Increase. To increase is to make something larger.
I will increase my score if I study for the test.
Life. Life is the time when a person is alive.
My grandfather had a long life.
Kilometer. A kilometer is a unit of measurement that is 1,000 meters.
A marathon is 42.2 kilometers.
Often. Often is when something happens many times.
He often goes to bed early during the week.
Plenty. If you have plenty of something, there is a lot of it.
We have plenty of fruit, so help yourself.
Weight. Weight is how heavy something or someone is.
I gained weight because I ate a lot of pizza. Ironman Races. Have you heard of the Ironman triathlon? It's considered one of the most challenging sporting events in the world. Competitors swim, ride a bike, and run. The race consists of a 3.86-kilometer swim, a 180.25-kilometer bicycle ride, and a 42.2-kilometer run. There are no breaks during the race. So competitors must keep going no matter what. People who choose to enter this race must be healthy and prepared in both mind and body. Ironman races are held all over the world. Some well-known competitions take place in New Zealand, Germany, and California in the United States. There are several rules for those who want to compete in the Ironman. The minimum age of racers is 18, so everyone who competes is an adult. Training for the Ironman can take more than a year. People who train often start practicing the events at shorter distances first, and then increase the amount of length and time they swim, bike, and run. Training can be difficult because people need to find a balance of strength and endurance training. Without enough training, people can get bad injuries. Some people even gain weight when training because their bodies store calories instead of using them for energy. All people in training should drink plenty of water. Doctors believe that exercise is good for people's health and helps the heart. People participate in other sports and games such as golf or American football. But the Ironman is a challenging way to stay fit. Even though it is hard, it can still be fun. It's a great way to stay active and enjoy life.
Unit 6. Word list. Apart. When people or things are apart, they are not next to each other.
They moved apart and then came back together.
Attribute. An attribute is a characteristic of a person or thing.
He isn't very clever, but he does have some other positive attributes.
Bilingual. A bilingual person can speak 2 languages.
Since you already know English, after learning French, you'll be bilingual.
Completely. Something completely different is very, very different from before.
I was completely wrong.
Dash. To dash means to run or move quickly.
Helen dashed up the stairs so she wouldn't be late for her appointment.
Disgust. Disgust is a feeling of distaste and anger caused by something rude or unpleasant.
He felt disgust toward his date because she had such terrible eating habits.
Fashionable. Something fashionable is what people like to wear and do now.
It is very fashionable to wear a hat.
Foreign. Something foreign is something we are not used to.
He has traveled widely in foreign countries.
Gulf. A gulf is a gap between people who do not understand each other.
There has been a gulf between James and Tony since their parents died.
Mirror. A mirror is usually made of glass, and you can see yourself in it.
He used the mirror to shine light in their eyes.
Natural. Things that are natural are not made by people.
We need to take care of the natural world.
Nowadays. Nowadays means at the present time.
Nowadays, not so many people smoke.
Participant. A participant is someone who joins in a social event or competition.
There were thousands of participants in this year's marathon.
Ritual. A ritual is a formal custom that people do regularly.
Ken was very interested to learn about the religious rituals of the natives.
Spoken. Spoken language is what we say.
We cannot take back what has been spoken.
Sport. Sport involves games like running, jumping, football, and tennis.
She loves watching sport on TV.
Surprised. You are surprised when something unexpected happens.
He didn't appear at all surprised when he read the article.
Tense. When you are tense, you are not comfortable and feel unhappy.
I felt very tense waiting to hear the result of the vote.
Totally. If you totally agree, you agree with everything just said.
I am totally against that.
Vague. If something is vague, it is not clear and gives very few details.
I asked him about his mother's health, but he was very vague about it.
The twins. Katy and Alice were twins. They were so alike that few people could tell them apart. They were almost like seeing one person looking in a mirror. They even spoke in the same way as each other. They were best friends. But the twins' attributes were not all exactly the same. Alice preferred sports and was a star athlete in soccer. Katy preferred foreign languages and was bilingual in French. Katy decided to be a participant at a summer camp in France. Alice wasn't interested in the French language, so she didn't go. But she was angry that Katy wanted to spend the summer away from her. 2 months later, Katy returned. Alice dashed to the airport to greet her sister. But when Alice saw Katy, she was surprised. Katy now spoke French, and she looked completely different. She was wearing fashionable clothes, and she looked taller. Alice felt very messy next to her. She was just wearing an old t-shirt, and her hair looked untidy. When Alice asked Katy about France, Katy was vague and didn't say much. It made Alice feel tense and filled her with disgust because in the past they'd always told each other everything. Now there was a huge gulf between them. Over the weeks, the sisters spoke even less. 2 months later, it was the twins' birthday. All their lives, they'd had a ritual. Before their birthday, they'd talk all night long. That night, Alice came into Katy's bedroom. "I'm sorry I haven't spoken to you much lately," Katy said. "I understand. You have new friends now," said Alice angrily. Katy said, "My French friends don't write much nowadays. For a while, I thought they were more exciting than my friends at home. But I was wrong. You're my sister, and you'll always be my best friend." Alice said, "I'm sorry too. I wanted our relationship to stay the same forever. But it's totally natural for twins to have different interests. We can still be best friends without being together all the time." Unit 7. Word list. Allow. To allow something to happen means to let it happen.
Having a ticket will allow you to enter the show.
Announce. To announce something is to make it known.
He announced to everyone his new idea for the company.
Beside. Someone or something beside you is next to you.
The two brothers stood beside each other.
Challenge. A challenge is something difficult to complete.
It was a challenge to climb to the top of the mountain.
Claim. To claim means to say that something is true.
He claimed to know why the country's laws were weak.
Condition. The condition of someone or something is the state that they are in.
The patient's condition was very good.
Contribute. To contribute to something means to do something to make it successful.
We decided to contribute money to the new hospital.
Difference. A difference is a way that something is not like other things.
The biggest difference between the birds is the color of their feathers.
Divide. To divide something is to split it into smaller parts.
We divided the pizza.
Expert. An expert is someone who is very good at doing something.
The wizard was an expert at magic.
Famous. A famous person or thing is well known.
The Eiffel Tower in Paris is very famous.
Force. Force is a person's strength or power.
He used all his force to try and open the door.
Harm. To cause harm is to hurt someone or damage something.
A hot iron can cause great harm if you are not careful.
Lay. To lay means to put or place in a horizontal or flat position.
Don't lay your socks on the floor.
Peace. Peace is a time without war.
A white dove is a symbol of peace.
Prince. A prince is the son of a king.
The prince and the princess were married.
Protect. To protect someone is to stop them from getting hurt.
Firemen protect us from fires.
Sense. To sense something is to know about it without being told.
I could sense that he was watching me.
Sudden. When something is sudden, it happens very quickly.
He felt a sudden pain in his chest.
Therefore. Therefore means for this reason.
He is fat. Therefore, he should go on a diet. The Best Prince. King Minos was very sick. His condition was getting worse. He had 3 sons. He loved them all. He had to announce who would become king. 2 of the princes stood waiting outside the king's room. Theseus was the oldest and strongest. He thought his father would make him king. Peleus, the second son, thought differently. He was an expert in fighting. He thought the king would choose him. "When I'm king," Theseus told Peleus, "I'll let you contribute to protect our country. You can lead the army." Peleus became angry. "Father knows I'm famous for my fighting skills. He'll make me king." "You?" Theseus said. "He won't choose you." "The kingdom is mine," Peleus claimed. "Father will give it to me, or I'll use force to take it." Theseus made a sudden move to take out his sword. Then Peleus did the same. "Beating me will be a challenge," Theseus said. "Fight me now. The winner gets the kingdom." Peleus agreed. King Minos could hear his sons fighting. The youngest son, Jason, stood beside him. He sensed his father's sadness. The king laid his hand on Jason's arm. "Your brothers fight too much," the king told him. "I must protect my kingdom from all harm. They'll divide it between them." The people won't know what to do. There'll be war. I can't allow either of them to be king. Therefore, I'm making you king. Your kindness has always made you special. It's the difference between you and your brothers. You can bring peace. They can't. Then the king died. Theseus and Peleus heard that their youngest brother was king. They were surprised. They realized that their fighting was wrong. It had kept them from saying goodbye to their father. They agreed to have Jason as their king. He was the best choice.
Unit 8. Word list. Accept. To accept something that is offered is to take it.
I accepted the girl's very nice gift.
Arrange. To arrange things is to put them in the right place.
Please arrange the words in order from A to Z.
Attend. To attend something is to go to it.
My sister and I attend the same school.
Chase. You chase people when you run after them and try to catch them.
I was chased by a dog.
Contrast. A contrast is a sharp difference between two things.
The contrast between my parents is very noticeable.
Encourage. To encourage people is to make them want to do something.
My football coach will encourage us when we are losing.
Familiar. People or things familiar to you are those you know well.
The two friends were very familiar with each other.
Grab. To grab is to take a hold of someone or something suddenly.
I grabbed a pear from the tree.
Hang. To hang something is to keep it above the ground.
I drew a picture of my family, and my mother hung it on the wall.
Huge. If something is huge, it is very big.
At work, my father drives a huge truck.
Necessary. If something is necessary, you must do it.
A passport is necessary if you travel to other countries.
Pattern. A pattern is a way in which something is done or organized.
My pattern of brushing my teeth is the same as most people's.
Propose. To propose something is to say that it should be done.
My grandmother proposed that we have our picture taken with Santa.
Purpose. A purpose is the reason that you do something.
The purpose of exercising is to get into shape.
Release. To release something is to stop holding it.
She released the bird from her hands.
Require. To require something is to say that it is necessary.
We require teachers to have a university degree.
Satisfied. You are satisfied when you have what you wanted.
I am very satisfied with your work.
Single. If something is single, then there is only one.
I have a single key in my hand.
Tear. To tear something means to pull it apart.
It is easy to tear paper.
Theory. A theory is an idea about how something works.
We talked about Einstein's theory of relativity in class.
How the sun and the moon were made. Do you ever wonder where the moon and the sun came from? The Inuit people of Alaska have a theory. They tell a story about a beautiful girl. She was very nice. In contrast, her brother was a mean little boy. One day, he proposed something. "We should go to a party," he said. The girl accepted. First, it was necessary for her to get ready. She arranged her hair and put on nice clothes. This required a lot of time. But the girl worked hard, and soon she was satisfied. She looked perfect. They attended the party together. The girl was having fun. Later, she walked into the bathroom. Suddenly, the lights were turned off. Someone grabbed her hair and tore her clothes. She ran out of the bathroom. She wanted to know who did this to her. Then she had an idea. She fixed her hair again. This time, it was even more beautiful. She even arranged beautiful jewels in it. She wanted to encourage the person to grab it again. She put black dirt in her hair. The purpose of this was to catch the person. She went to the bathroom again, and it was the same pattern. The lights went off, and someone grabbed her hair. When he released it, his hand was black. The girl returned to the party. She knew there was only a single person with a black hand. When she saw that person, he was very familiar. It was her brother. He ran into the woods. The girl ran after him. They both carried fire so they could see in the dark. The smoke went into the air. As they ran, they grew. They became huge. Then they went into space. When the girl's fire went out, she hung in the sky. She became the moon, and her brother became the sun. They chase each other forever. Unit 9. Word list. Animal. An animal is a living thing that can move.
My favorite animal is the panda.
Bus. A bus is a large vehicle that people travel on.
My father takes the bus to work.
Cat. A cat is a small animal related to lions and tigers that is kept as a pet.
This cat is playing with a ball.
Command. A command is an order given to a person or animal to do something.
Joe gave the students a command to stand up.
Depend. To depend on something is to need it for support or help.
My grandfather depends on a cane when he walks.
Dog. A dog is an animal with 4 legs and a tail that is kept as a pet or trained to work.
This woman's best friend is her dog.
Door. A door is an object that swings or slides open and shut.
Can you close the door, please?
Friend. A friend is someone a person knows and likes spending time with.
Brian's friend is very sad.
Hear. To hear is to be aware of sound through your ears.
Michelle cannot hear what you are saying.
Help. To help is to do something that makes something easier for someone else.
Jane can help Nathan climb up the rock.
Horse. A horse is a big, strong animal that people ride and use for pulling heavy things.
I went to a farm and saw a horse.
Hospital. A hospital is where sick or hurt people receive care or treatment.
The doctor talks to a patient at the hospital.
Leg. A leg is a body part used for standing and walking.
She hurt her leg.
Medical. Medical means related to the treatment of an injury or disease.
Tyler is a medical student studying to become a doctor.
Open. To open is to move something so that an opening is not covered.
Amy likes to open the window to let fresh air in.
Pull. To pull is to hold on to something to move it toward you.
The children pull the rope.
Rabbit. A rabbit is a small animal with long ears that lives in a hole in the ground.
Look at the rabbit in the park.
School. A school is a place where children go to learn.
The students study at school.
See. To see is to use your eyes to look at something or someone.
Stephen does not want to see the scary picture.
Service. Service is the act of helping or serving someone.
This coffee shop has excellent service. Service animals. Have you ever seen a blind person on the bus with a dog? This dog is most likely a service animal. A service animal is an animal that is trained to do things for people who cannot do them alone because of a disability. Dogs are most usually used as service animals because they are intelligent animals. They also have a good sense of smell and can sense dangerous situations. In addition, dogs are easy to train and are loyal to their owners. When they are close to their owners, dogs will do anything to keep them safe. Service dogs are sometimes called guide dogs or hearing dogs. These dogs can help people who cannot see or hear. They are trained to open and close a door, push a button, and listen to a command. These dogs can also help people who have a hurt leg and need to use a wheelchair to get around. Service dogs are strong and can even pull wheelchairs. If these people ever need medical attention, the dogs are trained to bark and get help. Dogs can also be used as therapy dogs. Therapy dogs may visit a school or hospital to help people who are feeling lonely or anxious. Their bad feelings can create health problems. Therapy dogs can provide kindness and love to improve a person's mood, which can then improve that person's health. Although dogs are the most common service animals, there are other animals that can be trained to be service animals as well. You might see a cat, a rabbit, or a horse that is used as a service animal. These animals can keep a person company and become a good friend. Many people depend on service animals for help. Service animals can do jobs that people cannot do alone. And they can help improve the health of people by making them feel happy.
Unit 10. Word list. Benefit. A benefit is a good thing.
Being able to fly is a benefit to birds.
Certain. If you are certain about something, you know it is true.
I am certain that zebras have stripes.
Chance. A chance is an opportunity to do something.
I had a chance to see the Colosseum in Rome last summer.
Effect. An effect is a change made by something else.
The medicine had a good effect on the boy.
Essential. If something is essential, it is very important and necessary.
It is essential to have oxygen when you scuba dive.
Far. If something is far, it is not close.
It's far from the East Coast to the West Coast of America.
Focus. To focus on something is to think about it and pay attention to it.
My mom always helps me to focus on my schoolwork.
Function. The function of something is what it does.
The function of a flashlight is to help you see in the dark.
Grass. Grass is the green leaves that cover the ground.
The grass looked so soft and green.
Guard. To guard something is to take care of it.
The police officer will guard us from any harm.
Image. The image of something is a picture of it.
The image of her eye was very clear.
Immediate. If something is immediate, it happens quickly.
An immediate response came from the pizza place.
Primary. If something is primary, it is the most important thing.
His primary thoughts are about money.
Proud. People who feel proud are happy about what they have done.
She is proud of the picture she drew of her house.
Remain. To remain somewhere is to stay there.
My sister had to remain home since she was sick.
Rest. To rest is to stop being active while the body gets back its strength.
I rested on the couch after work.
Separate. If two things are separate, they are not together.
New York and Los Angeles are in two separate parts of America.
Site. A site is a place.
We found the perfect site for our picnic.
Tail. A tail is a part of an animal's body that sticks out from its rear or back.
Our dog wags its tail when it's happy.
Trouble. Trouble is a problem or a difficulty.
I have trouble working with my boss.
The First Peacock. Argos lived in ancient Greece. He was a husband and a proud father. He worked hard and did well at his job. But one thing about him wasn't normal. He was born with 100 eyes. Having many eyes was usually a benefit to him. He had a chance to see many things. Also, since he had so many eyes, he was very good at guarding things. While sleeping, he only rested a few eyes at a time. The others stayed open. He worked for Hera, a great goddess. His primary function was to guard a special cow. The cow was very important to Hera. She loved it. The most essential part of his job was to keep the cow alone. It had to be kept separate from all the other cows and far away from people. This was an easy job for Argos. The cow just ate grass all day. But the god Zeus wanted the cow. He wanted to take it away from Hera. He had a plan. He found a great music player. He asked the man to play a beautiful song for Argos. Zeus was certain Argos would go to sleep. The song had an immediate effect. Argos couldn't focus on his job. He fell asleep. Zeus saw this, and he took the cow. Hera was very angry with Argos. She turned him into a peacock. She put his many eyes on his tail. Argos was very sad. Zeus saw how much trouble he had given Argos. He made another plan. He turned Argos into a group of stars. He wanted Argos to remain in the sky forever. Even today, Argos's image remains there, above the site where all his problems began. We can still see him in the night sky. Unit 11. Word list. Advertise. To advertise is to describe or draw attention to a product or event by using a public medium.
The woman started a new company and needed to advertise her products.
Aware. If someone is aware, they know that something or a situation exists.
The student became aware that the teacher was watching him.
Battery. A battery is an object placed inside something to supply it with electricity.
My brother needs a battery for his clock.
Black. Black is the darkest color.
Our street is black at night because there are no street lights.
City. A city is a place where a lot of people live.
Tokyo is a very big city in Japan.
Clean. To clean is to make something neat and tidy.
I clean our kitchen every Saturday.
Country. A country is an area of land with the same government and laws.
France is a country in Europe.
Develop. To develop is to make something larger or more advanced.
This practice will help you develop your math skills.
Electric. If something is electric, it uses electricity.
Some car companies make electric cars.
Eventually. When something happens at a later time or in the end, it happens eventually.
He will eventually move to London to find a new job.
Fact. A fact is a piece of information that is true.
A fact about South America is that it is a continent.
Glass. Glass is a transparent, breakable material.
Windows are made of glass.
History. History is the study of the past.
History was my favorite subject in school.
Nature. Nature is everything in the physical world that is not made by people.
On the weekends, I love to walk in nature among the trees.
Never. Never is when something is impossible or will not happen.
They never eat meat because they are vegetarians.
People. People are humans.
How many people live in China?
Plastic. Plastic is a material made by people.
Many drinks are sold in plastic bottles.
Problem. A problem is a situation when something goes wrong.
My problem is that I lost my dog.
Street. A street is a road in a city or village.
What is the name of the street you live on?
Think. To think is to have an opinion or thought about something.
I think summer is the best season. Keeping our earth clean. Across the world, places are increasing their efforts to recycle and help the environment. Recycling is when trash is reused and not thrown away. In recent history, more and more cities and countries have started recycling. These places have developed their recycling programs to stop our Earth from being covered with trash and black, dirty air. According to the Environmental Protection Agency in the United States, recycling also helps save energy. The agency encourages the recycling of glass and plastic bottles, paper, and aluminum cans. Many European countries have strong recycling programs as well. Austria, Germany, and Norway are well known for being leaders in recycling. And South Korea and Wales are countries that have a lot of recycling as well. There are many reasons why some countries recycle more than others. The fact is that these governments support recycling, and they are aware of its importance. There is also a lot of money spent on recycling. However, it is also necessary for people to try hard to recycle what they can from their own homes. Other ways to fight the waste problem also exist. Many cities place recycling bins on their streets. There are recycling projects across some cities, and in these projects, companies advertise the need to recycle. This helps keep the city streets clean. Electric cars are another way to keep the environment clean. The motors of these cars are electric. They get their power from electricity and batteries rather than from gas. The hope is that eventually all cities in all countries will recycle and make our Earth a cleaner place. We must protect nature and never stop thinking about how to protect it. So think before you throw away something that can be recycled.
Unit 12. Word list. Alone. A person who is alone is not with another person.
The boy wanted to be alone to think.
Apartment. An apartment is a set of rooms in a building where people live.
She has a nice apartment in the city.
Article. An article is a story in a newspaper or magazine.
Did you read the article in the newspaper about the soccer game?
Artist. An artist is a person who paints, draws, or makes sculptures.
He went to Paris to become an artist.
Attitude. Someone's attitude is the way they feel and think.
John has a bad attitude. He's always angry.
Beauty. Beauty is the state or quality of being beautiful.
I heard my mother was a great beauty when she was young.
Compare. To compare means to say how two things are the same and different.
If you compare cats and dogs, you'll see that they're both good pets.
Judge. To judge something is to say if it is good or bad.
The boy was going to judge how his mother's turkey tasted.
Magazine. A magazine is a regular publication with news, stories, and articles.
She likes to read fashion magazines.
Material. A material is what is used to make something.
Brick is a good material for building houses.
Meal. A meal is a time when food is eaten, such as breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
Breakfast is my favorite meal because I enjoy cereal.
Method. A method is the way to do something.
One method to remember things is to tie a string around your finger.
Neighbor. A neighbor is a person who lives near you.
I like my neighbor because he's very friendly.
Professional. If something is professional, it deals with work that uses special skills.
If you want to be a pilot, you must have professional training.
Profit. A profit is the extra money you make when you sell something.
I made a small profit from selling my old clothes.
Quality. The quality of something is how good it is.
The quality of his car is very good.
Space. A space is an empty area.
I don't have much space for things in my small house.
Stair. Stairs are the things that are used to walk up or down in a building.
You can take the stairs to the second floor.
Symbol. A symbol is a thing that stands for something else.
This symbol tells us that we cannot smoke in this area.
Thin. If someone or something is thin, they are not fat.
The man was thin because he didn't eat much.
The Crazy Artist. Fraunhofer was the best artist in the world. Everyone loved him. The quality of his paintings was very high. He always used the best materials. He made a big profit from his paintings. He had delicious meals with his rich neighbors. He taught art classes. Life was good. Then his attitude changed. He stopped selling paintings and teaching. He tried a new method of painting. He stayed alone in his apartment all day. He worked all day and all night, rarely eating. Soon Fraunhofer became very thin, but he kept working on the same painting for many years. He worked as hard as he could. Finally, he finished the painting. He was very happy and invited other artists to see it. "I want your professional opinion," he said. He wanted them to judge it and compare it to other paintings. Everyone was very excited as they went up the stairs to his apartment. Fraunhofer was excited to show his painting, and the artists were excited to see it. "They'll love it," he thought. But they did not. They were surprised by his painting. There was no white anywhere. Fraunhofer filled the whole painting with lines and colors. There was no space for a normal picture. It was full of strange shapes. It looked bad to the other artists. He used symbols, and they didn't understand them. They thought it was terrible. "Why did you paint this strange picture?" someone asked. They didn't understand its beauty. But after some time, many people began to like his painting. People wrote articles about it in magazines. They said it was his best work. They loved his strange symbols. They loved his strange colors. Fraunhofer's painting reminded everyone that just because something was new didn't mean that it was bad. He also helped them to realize that sometimes it takes people a little time to understand great things. Unit 13. Word list. Accounting. People study accounting so they can deal with money and finance properly.
He works for an accounting firm.
Appeal. To appeal to someone is to be interesting or attractive.
Sleeping all day appeals to me, but I have to go to school.
Assume. To assume something is to think that it is true, even with no proof.
I assume you are both familiar with this plan.
Borrow. To borrow something is to take it and then give it back later.
Can I borrow a pencil to use today? I'll give it back to you tomorrow.
Client. A client is a person or business that pays another to do a service.
She has many clients who enjoy coming to her salon.
Downtown. The downtown area is the center of most cities.
The downtown area is filled with many tall buildings.
Dull. If something is dull, it is not exciting.
The movie was very dull. I fell asleep watching it.
Embarrass. To embarrass people is to make them feel ashamed or foolish.
He was embarrassed when he couldn't remember her name.
Fare. A fare is an amount of money paid to use a bus, train, or taxi.
Since he is a senior, my grandfather pays a low fare for the bus.
Former. Former describes something that used to be but is not anymore.
The hotel, a former castle, was built over 200 years ago.
Found. To found a company or organization means to start it.
The Pilgrims founded one of the first colonies in the United States.
Invest. To invest means to use money in a way that will bring a profit later.
I invested money in a new building that should bring me a profit.
Loan. A loan is something, usually money, that one person lends to another.
I got a loan from the bank.
Practical. If something is practical, it is useful.
Learning English is practical. You can use it in many places.
Quarter. A quarter is 1/4 or 25% of something.
He paid a quarter for the candy.
Salary. A salary is how much money a person makes at his or her job.
He got a new job with a better salary.
Scholarship. A scholarship is money given so someone can go to school.
I got a scholarship to help me pay for university.
Temporary. If something is temporary, it exists for a short time.
This car is only temporary. I'll get a new one soon.
Treasure. A treasure is a collection of valuable things, especially jewels or gold.
They became very rich when they found the buried treasure.
Urge. To urge someone is to try very hard to get them to do something.
He urged them to believe his story. The taxi driver. Peter's job was driving a taxi downtown. He made a small salary, but he liked his job because it wasn't dull. Every day, he saw new things that appealed to him. Peter was practical about the future. Maybe I can get a scholarship for college, he thought. I could study accounting and get a job at a bank. I could help clients invest their money. Peter stopped to pick up a passenger. "Where to?" he asked. "Go to the 4th Street Bank, and don't talk to me. I've had a rough day," the man said. Peter was a peaceful person, so he was not angry. When they stopped, the man's fare came to $10.25. He put his hands in his pockets. "I can't find my wallet," he said. "I can't pay the fare." Peter said, "I'll give you a temporary loan. You can borrow $10 and a quarter from me." The man was embarrassed and said, "I was mean to you, but now I want to help you. I founded this bank. I want to give you $100. That much money was like a treasure to Peter. The man urged him to take the money, but he didn't. "You're an honest person," the man said. "I assumed you would take it. I want you to work for me." The next day, Peter started his job at the bank. He was happy to leave his former job.
Unit 14. Word list. Coach. A coach is a person who teaches sports.
My coach gets very excited during games.
Control. To control something is to make it do what you want.
To control the TV, just push the buttons.
Description. A description of someone or something says what they are like.
I gave a description of the man with the gun and hat to the police.
Direct. If something is direct, it goes straight between two places.
The green path is a direct route to my house.
Exam. An exam is a test.
I did some practice questions for the math exam on the board.
Example. An example of something is a thing that is typical of it.
Cola is an example of a soft drink.
Limit. A limit is the largest or smallest amount of something that you allow.
My mother put a limit on how much I could use the phone.
Local. If something is local, it is nearby.
The local market in my neighborhood sells all the food we need.
Magical. Magical describes a quality that makes someone or something special.
The fireworks made the night sky look so magical.
Mail. Mail is letters and other things sent to people.
I get a lot of mail because I have friends all over the world.
Novel. A novel is a book that tells a story.
He wrote a great novel about ancient China.
Outline. An outline is the plan for a story or essay.
Before I wrote my essay, I made an outline.
Poet. A poet is a person who writes poems.
William Shakespeare was one of the greatest poets.
Print. To print something is to put it onto paper.
Make sure that you print your name clearly.
Scene. A scene is one part of a book or movie.
A movie is made up of many short pieces or scenes.
Sheet. A sheet is a thin, flat piece of paper.
I only needed a single sheet of paper to do my homework.
Silly. People who are silly show a lack of serious thought.
I made a silly mistake of dropping Mom's face.
Store. A store is a place where you can buy things.
I picked up a few things at the grocery store.
Suffer. To suffer is to feel pain.
Her headache made her suffer all day.
Technology. Technology is new things made by using science.
He loves technology, such as laptop computers.
A magical book. Sarah loved to read. She read novels and poems. She loved the beautiful descriptions and phrases. She loved reading work by poets and writers. She didn't like video games or technology. She was on the basketball team, but she didn't like sports. Her parents made her play basketball. In fact, Sarah's parents made her do many things. But she didn't want to do those things. She just wanted to sit and read all day. One day, a small book came in the mail. It was for Sarah. The book looked very special. It was printed on sheets of gold. Sarah began to read. The outline of the story was simple. It was about a magical place. Strange things happened there. One example from the book was about a boy who could control people. In one scene, he made his friends tell funny jokes. Sarah loved the book. She read it all the time. Then something strange happened. The book gave Sarah a special power. She could control other people. She was like the boy in the book. During one exam, she made her friend tell silly jokes. Her friend got in trouble. After school, Sarah did not make a direct trip home. On the way, she went to the local store. She wanted to play more tricks on people. She made problems. She made people fall down. She laughed and had fun. Finally, she left and started to walk home. Then she saw something. Her basketball coach was about to walk in front of a bus. He was looking the other way. She had to stop him. She used her power. She controlled him. She made him stop walking. Sarah learned something that day. It was better to help people than make them suffer. So she put a limit on how she used her power. She did not want to do bad things with it anymore. She only wanted to do good. Unit 15. Word list. Across. To go across something is to go to the other side of it.
He walked across the board to the other side.
Breathe. To breathe means to let air go in and out of your body.
We need strong, healthy lungs to help us breathe well.
Characteristic. A characteristic is something that shows what a person or a thing is like.
One characteristic of tigers is their black stripes.
Consume. To consume something means to eat or drink it.
Jack consumed a whole plate of spaghetti.
Excite. To excite someone means to make them happy and interested.
I heard about the school dance on Friday. This excited me.
Extremely. If something is extremely good, it is very, very good.
I was extremely worried about him.
Fear. Fear is the feeling of being afraid.
I have a great fear of skateboarding.
Fortunate. If you are fortunate, you are lucky.
I was fortunate to get a seat.
Happen. If someone happens to do something, he or she does it by chance.
I happened to meet some new friends at school today.
Length. The length of something is how long it is from one end to the other.
The length of the floor is 3 meters.
Mistake. A mistake is something you do wrong.
My boss always yells at me when I make a mistake.
Observe. To observe something is to watch it.
Brian observed the sun rising over the mountains.
Opportunity. An opportunity is a chance to do something.
I had an opportunity to take pictures in the jungle.
Prize. A prize is something of value that is given to the winner.
I won a prize for getting the best grade on my science test.
Race. A race is a contest to see who is the fastest.
Paul is a fast runner, so he easily won the race.
Realize. To realize is to suddenly understand.
After I left my house, I realized that I left the light on.
Respond. To respond is to give an answer to what someone else said.
When the teacher asked the question, we all responded.
Risk. A risk is a chance of something bad happening.
I took a risk and climbed the snowy mountain.
Wonder. To wonder is to ask yourself questions or have a need to know.
The young mother wondered if she'd have a boy or a girl.
Yet. Yet is used to say something has not happened up to now.
We can't go out yet. We're still eating. The Big Race. A dog saw a group of animals cross the road. He walked over to meet them. "What are you doing?" he asked them. "I just sold them tickets to a race between the rabbit and the turtle," the duck responded. The dog was extremely excited. He felt fortunate that he happened to be there. "I don't have anything to do today," the dog said. "I want to buy a ticket too." The dog sat down to observe the race. It would be many kilometers in length. The rabbit and the turtle stood next to each other. They waited for the race to start. The dog wondered why the turtle agreed to run against the rabbit. Being fast was not a characteristic of turtles. The rabbit was going to win easily. Suddenly, the race began. The rabbit ran extremely quickly. The turtle walked slowly. After a minute, the rabbit looked back. He saw that the turtle was far behind him and was breathing quickly because he was so tired. The rabbit smiled and slowed down to a walk. A minute later, the rabbit said, "I'm winning, so I'll take a rest." He sat and began to consume some grass. Then he let his eyes close. He wasn't the winner yet, but there was no risk of him losing the race. He went to sleep. Hours later, a loud sound woke him. All of the animals were talking loudly and looking at the field. He felt fear for the first time. The turtle was almost at the finish line. Now the rabbit realized his mistake. But the race was over. He gave the turtle an opportunity to win, and the turtle took it. The duck handed the turtle his prize. It was the happiest day of the turtle's life. The dog was happy for the turtle. "He isn't fast," the dog thought, "but he tried his best and did something great."
Unit 16. Word list. Art. Art is something creative that expresses ideas and feelings.
My sister likes to look at the art in the museum.
Book. A book is a set of printed sheets of paper that are held together inside a cover.
The man smiles as he reads his favorite book.
Clothes. Clothes are what people wear to cover their bodies.
I bought warm clothes for the cold winter.
Community. A community is a group of people who share the same area or interests.
The community got together to plant trees.
December. December is the 12th month of the year.
The last day of the year is December 31st.
Dinner. Dinner is the main meal eaten in the evening.
I had a hamburger for dinner.
End. To end is to stop or finish.
They are happy because the teacher wanted to end the class early.
Exchange. To exchange is to give one thing in return for another.
The men exchange business cards.
Family. A family is a group of people who are related to each other.
There are 4 people in my family.
From. From shows a starting place or position.
Chris studies from 10 o'clock to noon every morning.
Green. Green is the color of growing grass or leaves.
I don't like green apples.
Home. A person's home is the place where that person lives.
The family likes to stay at home on the weekends.
January. January is the first month of the year.
My birthday is in January.
Red. Red is the color of blood.
Jack is wearing a red shirt.
7. 7 is the word for the number 7.
I have 7 colored pencils on my desk.
Start. To start is to begin doing something.
Catherine has to start work at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Together. Together shows an action is done with another person or thing.
Let's work together to finish the project.
University. A university is a school where people study for a degree.
My dream is to go to a good university.
Wear. To wear is to have clothing on your body.
The man has to wear a suit to work.
Year. A year is a period of 365 days, or 12 months.
You become 1 year older every birthday.
Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa is a 7-day holiday celebrated in the United States and other countries by people of African descent. It is celebrated from December 26th to January 1st each year. The celebration is dedicated to honoring African culture and working together as a community. Kwanzaa was created in 1966 by Maulana Karenga. Karenga was an African Studies professor at California State University. According to him, Kwanzaa comes from the Swahili language and means first fruit. Karenga wanted to create a holiday for African Americans as a way for them to reconnect with their heritage. The colors of Kwanzaa are black, red, and green. These colors are seen in decorations, such as African pieces of art, baskets, and cloth. Millions of African Americans wear African clothes during Kwanzaa and decorate their homes with fruit and vegetables. Each day, a family will celebrate one of 7 different principles of their African heritage, such as unity, faith, and community. Then they light a candle. The candles are put on a candle holder called a kinara. The middle candle is black. The 3 candles on one side of the kinara are red, and the other 3 candles are green. On the 6th day of Kwanzaa, families remember their ancestors and get together for a big dinner called a keramu, traditional African American dishes, which include chicken, fish, rice, beans, peas, sweet potatoes, and other vegetables, are served. Like Christmas, there are gifts which are exchanged on the 7th day. Books are always included because they symbolize the importance of learning about history and tradition. Kwanzaa is a way of celebrating the end of the year by honoring African culture and traditions, and to start the new year with family members as well as the community. Unit 17. Word list. Appreciate. To appreciate something is to understand its good qualities.
I can appreciate the lovely scenery.
Available. If something is available, it means you can get it.
There were many seats available in the room.
Beat. To beat someone means to do better than they do.
I managed to beat everyone in the race.
Bright. If something is bright, it gives off a lot of light.
The bright light from the explosion hurt my eyes.
Celebrate. To celebrate is to do something to show that an event is special.
We all celebrated when we heard the great news.
Decide. To decide is to make a definite choice.
He tried to decide which one to eat first.
Disappear. To disappear means to go away or not be seen.
The top of the building is disappearing in the clouds.
Else. If you talk about something else, you talk about something different.
I wanted a bike for my birthday, but I got something else.
Fair. Fair means reasonable or right.
He sold me his car for a fair price.
Flow. To flow is to move easily and continuously in one direction.
The water flowed over the rocks and into the lake.
Forward. If you move forward, you move in the direction in front of you.
When he saw his mother, the baby crawled forward to her.
Hill. A hill is a raised area of land. It is higher than the land around it.
The sun was rising above the green hills.
Level. A level is a point on a scale that measures something.
Please check the level of the temperature.
Lone. A lone person or thing is the only one in a given place.
A lone man walked along the street.
Puddle. A puddle is a pool of liquid on the ground.
When the ice melted, it formed a puddle.
Response. A response is the answer to a question.
He asked if I was sad. My response was no.
Season. A season is a time of the year: spring, summer, fall, or winter.
Fall is a warm season, while winter is very cold.
Solution. A solution is a way to solve a problem.
There are many problems. We need solutions.
Waste. To waste means to use something carelessly and unnecessarily.
Turn off the water so you don't waste it.
Weather. You use weather when you must choose between two things.
I could not decide whether to go left or right. The race for water. There was a town next to a river. The people there had a lot of water, but they wasted it. That made the sky angry. It said, "If you waste water, I will take it away from you." But the people didn't listen. When the season changed from spring to summer, the clouds disappeared. The bright sun was hot and made the river dry. There was no water available. People asked, "When will the rain fall?" The sky's response was, "You don't appreciate water. You waste it, and now I will never make rain again." A boy decided that this wasn't fair. He thought of a solution. He asked the sky to race him. He said, "If I get to the top of that hill before your rain can form puddles, you must fill our river." The sky laughed. "Little boy, I am the sky. I am above everything else. You cannot beat me." But the boy knew he would win. When the race began, the boy ran forward. The sky started raining on the hill, but puddles did not form there. When it rained on the hill, the water went down. The sky kept raining. The water flowed down into the river. When the boy reached the top of the hill, the river was full. The people began to celebrate. It was the highest level the river had ever been at before. The sky was angry. "A boy can't beat me. I won't fill your river," it said. Now the boy laughed. "It doesn't matter whether you want to fill it or not," he said. "You already did." The sky looked at the full river. "You tricked me," it said. It asked the people, "Do you appreciate water now?" "Yes," they said. "We won't waste it." That is how a lone boy saved his town and won the race for water.
Unit 18. Word list. Always. Always means that something happens all the time.
They always brush their teeth in the morning.
Ask. To ask is to say or write something to get an answer.
Please ask questions if you do not understand.
Banana. A banana is a long yellow fruit with soft white flesh inside.
Did you eat a banana for breakfast?
Bread. Bread is a food made from flour and water.
You need 2 pieces of bread to make a sandwich.
Cake. Cake is a sweet dessert made from flour, water, sugar, and eggs.
What a beautiful birthday cake!
Carrot. A carrot is an orange vegetable.
I put a carrot in my salad.
Chicken. Chicken is a bird that is often used for food.
Chicken is his favorite kind of meat.
Chocolate. Chocolate is a sweet food made from cacao beans.
I made a chocolate cake for my mom's party.
Contain. To contain is to hold or have something.
I have to find something to contain these apples.
Delicious. If a food is delicious, it is tasty.
I love the delicious fried chicken I ate for dinner.
Diet. A diet is the food regularly eaten by a person.
His diet mostly consists of fruits and vegetables.
Eat. To eat is to chew and swallow food.
You should eat breakfast every day.
Food. Food is things people and animals eat.
Pasta is a famous food in Italy.
Fruit. Fruit is a type of healthy food that grows on trees and plants.
Apples, pears, and oranges are types of fruit.
Great. When something is great, it is very good.
It was a great, exciting game.
Health. Health is the state of a person's body.
People who want good health should not smoke.
Recipe. A recipe is a set of instructions for cooking a certain type of food.
Do you use a recipe when you make that sauce?
Restaurant. A restaurant is a business where people sit and eat food.
Let's eat at the Indian restaurant.
Special. If something is special, it is unique and different.
The cupcake was special because it had blue frosting.
Water. Water is a clear liquid that people need to survive.
Drink 8 cups of water every day.
Eat healthy. It is important to eat healthy food. There are 5 main healthy food groups. They are grains, fruits, vegetables, protein, and dairy. A food pyramid can show you how much of each group you should eat. Many different kinds of food are necessary for a balanced diet. You need to eat grains, such as rice, wheat, and several types of bread. Fruits and vegetables are also important. Fruits, such as bananas, are good for you. Others, such as oranges and kiwis, contain a lot of vitamin C. Vegetables are an important part of a daily diet. They are extremely healthy and can be eaten in many ways. Salads with raw vegetables, such as spinach and carrots, are common, but you can also cook vegetables in many different ways. Soups are another easy way to get vegetables into your diet. Protein is an important food group too. Meats, such as beef and chicken, are well-known forms of protein. Tofu, beans, eggs, and nuts also contain high amounts of protein. You should also eat dairy products, such as cheese, yogurt, and milk as well. A healthy diet includes drinking lots of water instead of sugary drinks, such as soda and juice. While sweets may not be considered healthy foods, they are fine if you don't eat too many. Chocolate and cake are well-loved sweets commonly found at restaurants and grocery stores. They are often served at special events, such as birthday parties and weddings. At restaurants, you can ask the waiters to tell you which ingredients are included in different dishes. At home, you can always find healthy and delicious recipes in cookbooks or on the internet. Eating healthy food is great for your health. Unit 19. Word list. Alive. Someone or something that is alive is not dead.
My grandparents are still alive even though they are over 90.
Bone. A bone is a hard part of the body.
I brought home a nice bone for my dog.
Bother. To bother is to make the effort to do something.
No one bothered to wash the dishes today.
Captain. A captain is the person who controls a ship or airplane.
The captain sailed his ship to Australia.
Conclusion. The conclusion of something is the final part of it.
At the conclusion of the race, the spectators cheered for the winner.
Doubt. Doubt is a feeling of not being sure.
I have doubt that the story is true.
Explore. To explore is to look for new places.
He wants to explore the world and see new things.
Glad. If you are glad, you are happy.
I am glad you came to my party.
However. However means despite or not being influenced by something.
She is a great cook. However, she never had professional lessons.
Injustice. Injustice is a lack of fairness or justice.
Putting an innocent person in jail is an act of injustice.
International. If something is international, it involves more than one country.
The United Nations is a powerful international organization.
Lawyer. A lawyer works with the law and represents people in court.
The lawyer left the courthouse after the judge made her decision.
Mention. To mention something is to talk about it.
The doctors mentioned the problems that the patient was having.
Old. Someone who is old has lived for many years.
My mother is 70 years old now.
Policy. A policy is a rule.
He told us that his policy was to put customers first.
Social. If something is social, it is about many people in a community.
People should come together and fix the world's social problems.
Speech. A speech is something said to a group of people.
She gave a speech to the class.
Staff. A staff is a group of people working together in a company.
My dad has a staff of 4 people to help him at the office.
Toward. If you go toward something, you go closer to it.
Santa walked toward my house with a bag of gifts.
Wood. Wood is the thing that trees are made of.
I put the pieces of wood in a pile. Shipwrecked. Simon Yates was a lawyer. He helped many people. However, he was not a nice man. His policy was to help only rich people. He didn't bother about social injustice. He made a lot of money, but many people didn't like him. Even people on his staff didn't like him. In fact, they were glad when he got into trouble. Simon had a very bad day. He did many things wrong and lost his job. Soon, he didn't have any money. His wife, Mrs. Yates, began to have doubts about him. Simon wanted to start a new life. He planned to leave the country. He mentioned his plan to the captain of a ship. The captain was exploring the world. The captain felt bad for Simon and said, "I will take you to foreign countries." They left the next day. Near the conclusion of their international trip, the weather turned bad. A wave pushed Simon off the boat, but he was alive. He swam toward an island. After a long time, he got there. At first, he was upset. He was lost and alone. "I'll never go home again," he thought. He had a lot of problems, but he didn't die. He built a house in a tree. He lived on a diet of fish. He made tools from wood and bones. He made a cup to drink rainwater. Slowly, he learned to be happy on the island. He swam every day. He had trouble sometimes, but he always found a way to fix the problem. Life was simple. He liked it. Finally, people on a ship saw Simon on the island. They wanted to take him home. But Simon was happy. He gave them a long speech about life. He said he wanted to stay. He liked his new, simple life more than his old life.
Unit 20. Word list. Achieve. To achieve something is to successfully do it after trying hard.
I was happy that I could achieve my goal.
Advise. To advise someone is to tell them what to do.
My mother often advises people about their money.
Already. If something happens already, it happens before a certain time.
It is already time for the movie to start. Let's go in.
Basic. If something is basic, it is very simple or easy.
I learned some basic English skills in school today.
Bit. A bit is a small amount of something.
I ate a bit of chocolate before I went to bed.
Consider. To consider something means to think about it.
Pete didn't like his job. He considered getting a new one.
Destroy. To destroy means to damage something so badly that it cannot be used.
The glass was destroyed.
Entertain. To entertain someone is to do something that they enjoy.
The clown entertained the kids at the party.
Extra. If something is extra, it is more than what is needed.
The squirrel had extra nuts for the winter.
Goal. A goal is something you work toward.
Her goal was to become a doctor.
Lie. To lie is to say or write something untrue to deceive someone.
Whenever Pinocchio lied to his father, his nose grew.
Meat. Meat is food made of animals.
This piece of meat I'm eating tastes very good.
Opinion. An opinion is a thought about a person or a thing.
Meg told me her opinion of my story. She said it was not funny.
Real. If something is real, it actually exists.
Some people don't believe in aliens from space, but I think they're real.
Reflect. To reflect is when a surface sends back light, heat, sound, or an image.
Her face was reflected in the smooth glass.
Regard. To regard people is to think of them in a certain way.
The boy regarded the girl as a good friend.
Serve. To serve someone is to give them food or drinks.
He served us our drinks quickly.
Vegetable. A vegetable is a plant used as food.
Carrots are my favorite vegetable.
War. A war is a big fight between two groups of people.
Many young men died in the war.
Worth. If something is worth an amount of money, it costs that amount.
Our house is worth a lot of money.
The 7 Cities of Gold. Many years ago, a Spanish officer named Coronado heard the story of 7 great cities. The walls of these cities are made of gold, his friends told him. The people eat meat from golden plates and dress in nice clothes, they said. They called these cities the 7 Cities of Gold. Were the cities real? Coronado never considered asking his friends. Coronado thought to himself, the things in these cities must be worth a lot of money. So he went to find the 7 Cities of Gold. He took along 300 men, many horses, and extra food. They headed west. Coronado wanted to achieve his goal very badly. Coronado and his men rode for many days. Then they saw some cities. "We found the 7 Cities of Gold," his men said. But Coronado wasn't happy. He had a different opinion. "These can't be the 7 Cities of Gold," he said. "Look, they're made of dirt." Coronado was right. The cities weren't bright and golden. They were dirty and brown. The people didn't eat meat from golden plates. They ate vegetables from regular bowls. They wore the most basic clothes. Coronado regarded the cities as ugly places. What happened to the cities of gold? He thought. Did someone destroy them? Was there a war? Did someone already come and take the gold? That night, the people of the cities entertained Coronado and his men and served them food. They advised Coronado to go home. "There is no gold here," they told him. Coronado was angry. Did his friends lie to him? He left the next morning. He looked back at the cities one more time. The sun reflected light on the dirt houses. Coronado thought he saw a bit of gold. Were his friends right after all? No, he told himself. It's just the sun. Then he turned away and went home. Unit 21. Word list. Appear. To appear is to seem.
She appeared to be sad. She was crying.
Base. The base is the bottom of something.
The base of the table has 3 legs.
Brain. The brain is the organ in your head that lets you think.
You must use your brain to solve the problem.
Career. A career is a job that you do for a large part of your life.
He was in the hospitality business for most of his career.
Clerk. A clerk is a type of worker. Clerks in a store help customers.
The clerk added up her bill for the groceries.
Effort. Effort is hard work or an attempt to do something.
He always puts a lot of effort into his studies.
Enter. To enter a place is to go into it.
2 guards greeted me as I entered the front door.
Excellent. When something is excellent, it is very good.
I got an excellent score on my school test.
Hero. A hero is a brave person who does things to help others.
To children, the man in the blue and red costume was a real hero.
Hurry. To hurry is to do something quickly.
I hurried home on my bike.
Inform. To inform someone is to tell them about something.
I called and informed her about my idea.
Later. Later means after the present, expected, or usual time.
She missed the train, so she'll arrive a little later than expected.
Leave. To leave means to go away from someone or something.
He packed his bag and was ready to leave for home.
Locate. To locate something is to find it.
I could not locate my keys in the house.
Nurse. A nurse is a person who helps sick people in the hospital.
A nurse helped me get better.
Operation. An operation is when a doctor replaces or removes something in the body.
The operation on my arm was a success.
Pain. Pain is the feeling that you have when you are hurt.
His head was full of pain.
Refuse. To refuse something is to say no to it.
The dog refused to play with the cat.
Though. Though is used when one idea makes another seem surprising.
Though he was overweight, he liked to be active.
Various. If something is various, there are many types of it.
She owned shoes of various styles. Katy. I first met 8-year-old Katy on a rainy afternoon. I was a nurse at a hospital. The clerk at the desk told me about Katy. She was there because she felt a lot of pain. The doctors located a problem at the base of her brain. I knew she was special even before she got better. I'll always remember Katy as a hero. When I entered Katy's room, she was not in her bed. She was in a chair next to Tommy, a little boy. Though Katy did not feel well, she was playing with Tommy and his toys. It took a lot of effort for her just to sit in the chair. But she played with Tommy because it made him happy. Katy was always smiling and never appeared to be in pain. She refused to just lie in bed. One day, I found her painting a picture. Later, she gave it to one of the older patients. Another day, she went outside to get flowers for another sick little girl. Katy made everyone smile. The doctors hurried to fix the problem in Katy's brain. The operation was successful. The doctors informed the hospital staff of the good news. Katy was fine. She soon felt excellent. She got better and was able to leave the hospital a month later. I have had a long career as a nurse. I have met many patients. However, I have never met another girl like Katy. Even after she got well, she still came to the hospital. She played various games with the young patients. She read many books to the older patients. Katy's kind heart helped her get better so quickly. She is a hero to me and everyone else at the hospital.
Unit 22. Word list. Actual. Actual means real or true.
This is the actual sword that the king owned, not a fake one.
Amaze. To amaze people is to surprise them very much.
The news in the paper amazed Jack.
Charge. A charge is the price to pay for something.
The charge for the shirts was $15.
Comfort. To comfort someone means to make them feel better.
I wanted to comfort my friend after I heard the bad news.
Contact. To contact people is to speak or write to them.
I contacted Sue about my party.
Customer. A customer is a person who buys something at a store.
The customer put a few items in a bag.
Deliver. To deliver something is to take it from one place to another.
The man delivered Chinese food to my house.
Earn. To earn means to get money for the work you do.
He earns his living as a chef in a great restaurant.
Gate. A gate is a type of door. Gates are usually made of metal or wood.
We want to put up a wooden gate around our house.
Include. To include something means to have it as part of a group.
Does this meal include a soft drink?
Manage. To manage something means to control or be in charge of it.
I had to manage the meeting myself.
Mystery. A mystery is something that is difficult to understand or explain.
The path on the map was a complete mystery to me.
Occur. To occur means to happen.
When did the thunderstorm occur?
Opposite. If A is the opposite of B, A is completely different from B.
The opposite of black is white.
Plate. A plate is a flat, round thing that you put food on.
I put my plate down so I could put some food on it.
Receive. To receive something is to get it.
I received a present on my birthday.
Reward. A reward is something given in exchange for good behavior or work.
He was given a reward for his excellent performance.
Set. To set something is to put it somewhere.
Please set the dice down on the table.
Steal. To steal is to take something that is not yours.
The men tried to steal money from the bank.
Thief. A thief is someone who quietly takes things that do not belong to them.
A thief broke into our home and took my mother's jewelry.
A better reward. Jenny delivered food for a restaurant. She read the newspaper and said, "Uh-oh, there was a story about a thief. He stole food, and no one had seen him. Even the police couldn't catch him." Jenny was a little scared. She worked close to that area. The newspaper included a message from the police. "If anything strange occurs, call us. If you help us catch the thief, you'll earn a reward." Jenny talked to Jim. He managed the restaurant. "Do you know about the thief?" "Yes," he said, "but he steals more than one person can eat. And why haven't the police stopped him yet? It's a mystery. If you see him, contact the police. Don't run after him." Jenny drove to a customer's house. She left her car and opened the gate to the house. But then she heard a noise by her car. She said, "Thief!" She wasn't scared. She wanted the reward. She did the opposite of what Jim told her to do. "Hey," she said, "get back here." She set the food on the ground and ran to her car. But the thief had already left with the food. Jenny followed a noise around the corner. She was amazed. She saw a dog and some puppies. They were eating her food. They looked thin and scared. "The actual thief is just a dog. She's feeding her puppies," she said. "That's why she steals so much food." Jenny felt bad. She tried to comfort the dogs with another plate of food. Then she took them back to the store. Everyone there took a puppy home. Jenny called the police. She told them there was no real thief. Jenny didn't do it to receive the reward anymore. She said, "It was just a dog. But there's no charge for catching this thief," she said. "My new dog is a better reward." Unit 23. Word list. Advance. To advance is to go forward.
He advanced across the bridge slowly.
Athlete. An athlete is a person who plays sports.
Some athletes can play many sports very well.
Average. If something is average, it is at a normal level.
I'm not rich or poor. I'm average.
Behavior. Your behavior is the way you act.
Their behavior was good this semester. They didn't cause trouble.
Behind. Behind means to be at the back of something.
The little girl was hiding behind a tree.
Course. A course is a class in school.
I took a PE course in school this year.
Lower. To lower something is to make it go down.
The chart shows how his production has lowered over the year.
Match. To match is to be the same or similar.
The two shoes matched. They looked the same.
Member. A member is a person who is part of a group.
Julie is the newest member of our team.
Mental. If something is mental, it has to do with your mind.
I made a mental picture of the room.
Passenger. A passenger is a person who rides in a car, train, or airplane.
One passenger was standing near the subway train.
Personality. Your personality is what you are like and how you behave.
John has a bad personality.
Poem. A poem is a short kind of writing.
William Shakespeare wrote many poems.
Pole. A pole is a long, thin stick made of wood or metal that supports things.
The flag was hanging from the flagpole.
Remove. To remove something is to take it away.
I removed the nail from the board.
Safety. Safety means the condition of being safe and free from danger.
For his own safety, he was placed in a car seat.
Shoot. To shoot is to fire something like a bullet at someone or something.
The hunter raised his gun to shoot at the target.
Sound. To sound means to make a noise.
The alarm clock sounded and woke us all up.
Swim. To swim is to move through water.
I love to swim in the ocean.
Web. A web is a home made by a spider.
Mom cleaned the spider webs out of the garage. The camp. Stacy wanted to stay at a nice hotel for vacation, but her parents sent her to a terrible camp instead. For breakfast, Stacy liked fresh juice and chocolate milk, but she got water at the camp. In the afternoon, she wanted to write poems, but she had to swim. The camp was near an airport with loud planes. Spider webs hung over her bed. To her, the kids' average behavior was very bad. No girl matched her personality. She hated it. One day they had a class. Mental exercise sounded good to Stacy, but it was a course on water safety. They learned how to be safe passengers on a boat. Stacy didn't ever plan to go on a boat. The next day they played a game. There was a red team and a blue team. Stacy was on the blue team. Each team had to try to remove the other team's flag from a pole. They also had to use water guns. "I'm not much of an athlete," she said, but she still had to play. Stacy took a water gun and looked for somewhere to hide. A boy said, "Stacy, you advance to the middle. I will go right. Those two will go left." Stacy still didn't want to play. She walked into the forest and saw a red team player coming. Stacy hid behind a tree and then jumped out and shot the other player. "This is fun," Stacy thought. Several minutes after moving further, Stacy saw the red flag. A red team member was watching over it. She shot him with her water gun. Then she lowered the flag and ran back to her team. "I got it!" she said. The blue team won. Stacy was the hero. For the rest of the week, Stacy had fun. She even made new friends.
Unit 24. Word list. Block. A block is a solid piece of wood, stone, or ice.
I saw a block of ice on the floor.
Bury. When you bury something, you put it under the ground or under a lot of other things.
My father was buried in his hometown when he died.
Cheer. To cheer is to give a loud shout of approval or encouragement.
The crowd all cheered when the home team won.
Complex. If something is complex, it has many small parts. It is hard to understand.
A jigsaw puzzle can be complex because it has so many pieces.
Critic. A critic is someone who gives opinions about movies, books, plays, etc.
The wine critic tasted the wine so he could give his opinion.
Direction. A direction is the way to go.
Go in this direction for 10 minutes and you will get to the river.
Event. An event is something that happens, especially something important.
Finishing high school was a major event in his life.
Exercise. To exercise is to run or play sports so that you can be healthy.
You should exercise every day.
Friendship. Friendship is the relationship between people who are friends.
Michael and Lisa have a very strong friendship with each other.
Guide. A guide is someone who shows you where to go.
We followed a guide at the park.
Lack. If there is a lack of something, there is not enough of it.
His only problem is a lack of money.
Perform. To perform is to do something in front of people who watch.
He will perform a song for the class.
Pressure. Pressure is what you apply to make someone do something.
They put pressure on him to change his mind.
Probably. If something will probably happen, it is likely to happen.
You will probably get a good grade if you study for the test.
Public. If something is public, it is meant for everyone to use.
I went to the public park to play with my friends.
Smart. Smart means intelligent.
Mary is a smart student.
Strike. To strike people or things is to hit them.
She struck the other girl in the face.
Support. To support something is to like it and help it be successful.
Everyone at work supports the new plan.
Term. A term is a word for something.
I often use the term oops when I make a mistake.
Unite. To unite is to get together to do something.
If we unite, we can finish our project faster.
A strong friendship. Tim was the strongest man in the town. When he played sports, he always won. He performed and exercised in the public park. He did this to show everyone how strong he was. Most people liked him, but one man didn't. His name was Jack. Jack hated Tim. Jack was a movie critic and the smartest man in town. He could solve complex math problems, but no one cared. Jack wanted to be famous like Tim. One day, there was an unusual event. A big storm came suddenly. The town was buried in snow. No one could get out. They needed food. The people said, "This is a task for a strong man." Tim was under pressure to save them. But Jack wanted to be a hero, so they both went. Tim said, "You can't help because of your lack of strength." But Jack knew the local area very well and could find paths that were usable despite the snow. They led in the direction of another town. That town had food. They walked until there was a block of ice in their way. Jack said, "We can't get past it, but if you strike it, it might break." Tim knew he probably had enough strength, so he struck it with a hammer. It broke. When there were more blocks of ice, Tim broke them. That made him tired. He couldn't walk any more. Jack said, "Let's unite and support each other. I'll get the food alone. You rest here." Jack came back with food. Tim couldn't remember which path led home. He needed Jack to be his guide. The men became friends by working together. In town, people saw Jack with the food and cheered. They called Jack a hero, but Jack didn't care. He was thinking of something else. He said to Tim, "I thought I was smart, but I learned a new term today: friendship." Unit 25. Word list. Associate. To associate means to connect something with a person or thing.
Most people associate birthday parties with having fun.
Environment. The environment is the place where people work or live.
Keeping our environment clean is important to our health.
Factory. A factory is a building where things are made or put together.
We have only one factory in our town.
Feature. A feature is an important part of something.
The cell phone has many features.
Instance. An instance is an example of something.
I have never experienced an instance of hate. Have you?
Involve. To involve means to include as an active participant.
The whole family was involved in playing the game.
Medicine. Medicine is something you take to feel better or treat an illness.
The doctor gave me medicine for my cold.
Mix. A mix is different things put together.
The green mix we made in science class spilled onto the table.
Organize. To organize is to plan or get ready for an event.
Make a list to help you organize the things you need.
Period. A period is an amount of time when something happens.
In one period in Europe, there were many nights.
Populate. If people populate an area, they live there.
Billions of people populate the earth.
Produce. To produce something is to make or grow it.
This tree produces apples every year.
Range. A range is a number or a set of similar things.
I saw a range of cars to choose from.
Recognize. To recognize something is to know it because you have seen it before.
I recognized an old friend from many years ago.
Regular. If something is regular, it happens often and in equal amounts of time.
Our regular lunchtime is around noon.
Sign. A sign is an indication giving information, directions, a warning, etc.
The sign indicated that today would be a bad day.
Tip. A tip is a pointed end of something.
The tip of his pen was very sharp.
Tradition. A tradition is something people have been doing for a long time.
Marriage is a tradition all over the world.
Trash. Trash is waste material or unwanted or worthless things.
Please take out the trash. It smells bad.
Wide. If something is wide, it is large from side to side.
The door was as wide as my arms. Joe's Pond. Joe made the world a better place. He got the idea to do that at school. He watched a video there. It was about a factory. This factory produced a lot of trash and put it in a river. The trash and water were a bad mix. People populated the area by the river and drank its water. This made them sick. Many of them needed medicine and made regular visits to doctors. But the video wasn't all bad news. It showed ways to pick up trash and why it's important to do this. It said people can make a difference to their environment. The video's important features made Joe associate trash with hurting people. One day, Joe walked through a park. He recognized some of the problems from the video. One instance of these problems was the trash in the pond. It was full of plastic cups. There was too much trash. Joe didn't want it to hurt anyone. He told his grandfather about the park. His grandfather said, "You know, it's a tradition in our family to help people. That's why we give food to poor people. Maybe you can help people by cleaning the park." Cleaning the park would involve hard work. Joe decided to organize a group to help him. He chose a wide area of the park. It had the most trash. He asked his family and friends to come. On Saturday, he gave everyone a sharp stick. They wondered why. He said, "You use the stick's tip to pick up trash. This makes it easier." They worked for 6 weeks. Different people helped each time, but Joe was always there. In that period of time, Joe saw a range of results. There was no trash in the water. People could swim in it. Joe knew that was a good sign. He was happy because he helped his environment.
Unit 26. Word list. Advice. Advice is an opinion about what to do.
I don't know how to study for my exams. Can you give me some advice?
Along. Along means down the length of a road, river, etc.
Walk along this tunnel for 10 minutes, and you'll see a door on the left.
Attention. Attention is the notice, thought, or consideration of someone.
His work got the attention of 2 of his coworkers.
Attract. To attract means to make a person or thing come closer or be interested.
The magnet attracted the metal.
Climb. To climb means to use your hands and feet to go up something.
The girls climbed to the top of the mountain.
Drop. To drop is to fall or allow something to fall.
A small amount of water dropped from the bottle.
Final. If something is final, it is the last part.
In the final part of the film, the man and the woman got married.
Further. Further means at or from a greater distance or time.
The escalator is further than I thought.
Imply. To imply something is to suggest it without saying it.
The man implied that he wanted the job, but he didn't say so.
Maintain. To maintain means to make something stay the same.
The balls maintain constant movement.
Neither. You use neither to connect 2 negative possibilities.
Neither the path on the left nor the path on the right will lead us home.
Otherwise. Otherwise means in another way if you don't do this.
It's good to stay active, otherwise you'll gain weight.
Physical. If something is physical, it is related to your body and not your mind.
Biking is good for your physical health.
Prove. To prove something is to show that it is true.
My teacher proved the answer on the board.
React. To react is to respond by acting in a certain way.
James reacted badly to the news.
Ride. To ride something is to travel on it. You can ride an animal, a bike, etc.
I will ride a roller coaster for the first time today.
Situated. If something is situated somewhere, it is in that place.
The whiteboard is situated between the two men.
Society. Society is a group of people who interact and share a culture.
Society expects people to be good and honest.
Standard. A standard is what people consider normal or good.
This older model TV is below our store standards.
Suggest. To suggest something means to give an idea or plan about it.
He suggested that we go to see his boss.
Archie and His Donkey. Old Archie needed some money. He decided to sell his donkey. So he and his son Tom went to town. It was situated many miles away. Soon they met a woman. "Where are you going?" she asked. "To town," said Archie. "Any smart person would ride the donkey," she said. "What are you implying?" Archie asked. "I'm very smart." Archie wanted to look smart, so he climbed onto the donkey. Then they continued in the direction of the town. Further along the road, they met a farmer. "Hello," said Archie. "We want to sell this donkey. Do you want to buy it?" "I don't need a donkey," said the farmer. "But if you want my advice, don't ride it. The donkey needs to be in good physical condition." "Good idea," said Archie. "Tom, I want you to ride it. You're lighter." "Neither you nor your son should ride it. It looks very tired. You should carry the donkey," suggested the farmer. "You're right," said Archie. "Come on, Tom. We'll carry it for the final few miles." The donkey was very heavy, and they couldn't maintain a good speed. They didn't arrive until late in the evening. At last, they walked into the town. But there, they attracted the attention of some teenage boys. They laughed at Tom and Archie. They started to throw stones at them. The donkey reacted by kicking. Tom and Archie dropped the donkey. It fell on the ground and then ran away. Archie lost his donkey. He went home with no money. What does this story teach us? We cannot please everyone in our society. Don't take everyone's advice, but set your own standards. Prove to everyone that you can make decisions by yourself. Otherwise, you may end up with nothing at all. Unit 27. Word list. Actually. Actually means in fact or really.
My dad looks a little mean, but actually he's very kind.
Bite. Bite is the act of using your teeth to cut and tear into something.
The boy took a big bite of his hamburger.
Coast. The coast is the land by an ocean.
I stayed on the southern coast of Australia.
Deal. A deal is an agreement that you have with another person.
I made a deal with the other company to give us some money.
Desert. The desert is an area of land without many plants or water.
Not many plants grow in the desert.
Effective. If something is effective, it works well.
Swimming is an effective way to stay healthy.
Examine. To examine something is to look at it carefully.
The doctor examined my eyes today.
False. If something is false, it is not correct.
If you think the answer is false, press the red button.
Figure out. When you figure something out, you come to understand it and find an answer.
I couldn't figure out what he wanted me to do.
Gift. A gift is something you give someone.
Dave received many gifts for Christmas.
Hunger. Hunger is the feeling that you get when you need to eat.
After playing all day long, he was filled with hunger.
Imagine. To imagine something is to think of it in your mind.
Sally imagined herself winning lots of money.
Journey. A journey is a long trip.
I went on a journey across the country with my parents.
Puzzle. A puzzle is something that is hard to understand.
The question was a puzzle to him.
Quite. Quite means that something is a certain way completely or very much.
I think typing on a keyboard is quite easy.
Rather. Rather is used when you want to do one thing but not the other.
I would rather have the red one than the blue one.
Specific. If something is specific, it is precise or exact.
Please choose a specific place on the map.
Spider. A spider is a small creature with 8 legs.
Some adults have a fear of little creatures such as spiders.
Tour. A tour is a short trip in which you see many sights.
I took a tour of Asia and Europe.
Trip. A trip is a journey to a certain place.
Ken took a trip to the city yesterday. The Spider and the Bird. There was once a very big spider. However, if a bug got into his web, he didn't eat it right away. He would carefully examine it. He asked the bug a question first. It was always quite a difficult puzzle. If the bug's answer was correct, he let it go. If not, he ate it. One day, a small bird on a journey flew into the spider's web. The spider couldn't imagine eating a bird. It was so big. But his hunger was too great. He said to the bird, "If you cannot give me a specific answer, I will eat you." The bird laughed. "I could eat you." But the bird was actually scared. She had used all her energy trying to get out of the web. And a spider's bite can be very effective in killing animals. "Please don't eat me," the bird said. "I would rather make a deal with you." "Okay," the spider said. "If your answer is right, I will let you go. If not, you must give me a gift. It must be something of great value." The bird said, "You can pick anything you want to eat. I will find it for you." The spider agreed. "Where can you take a trip to the coast, the desert, and the mountains at the same time?" the spider asked. The bird said, "Can you help me figure that one out?" But the spider did not say anything. "I can see those places when I fly. Is the sky the right answer?" false," said the spider. "The answer is Hawaii. Now you must find some bugs for me." The spider climbed on the bird's back. They flew and ate bugs together. They took a tour of the forest. Then the bird took the spider home. From that day on, they were friends. And they never tried to eat each other again.
Unit 28. Word list. Band. A band is a group of people who play music.
My brother is in a rock band.
Barely. Barely means by the smallest amount, almost not.
I barely had enough money to pay for my bus ticket.
Boring. If something is boring, it is not fun.
I think the internet is boring.
Cancel. To cancel means to decide that an event or a request will not happen.
She canceled the rest of her plans because of the rain.
Driveway. A driveway is a short private road that leads to a person's home.
The long driveway led us to their new house.
Garbage. Garbage is waste material, like unwanted or spoiled food, bottles, paper, etc.
The boy cleaned up the garbage around his house.
Instrument. An instrument is something designed to do a certain task, like play music.
My favorite musical instrument is the piano.
List. A list is a record of information printed with an item on each line.
My mom makes a list of groceries to buy.
Magic. Magic is the power to do impossible things.
The magician used magic to pull a rabbit out of his hat.
Message. A message is a set of words that you send to someone.
I left a message for you in the envelope.
Notice. To notice something is to see it for the first time.
Did you notice the view?
Own. To own something means to have it. That thing belongs to you.
My grandfather owns that house.
Predict. To predict something is to say that it will happen.
She predicted that I would get married next year.
Professor. A professor is a person who teaches in college.
Mike's science professor knows a lot about physics.
Rush. To rush is to go somewhere or do something very quickly.
Nancy rushed to finish her homework.
Schedule. A schedule is a plan that tells you when to do things.
What is your class schedule for today?
Share. To share something is to give some of it to another person.
Jimmy shared his apple with me.
Stage. A stage is a place where actors or musicians act or sing.
A large screen was on the stage.
Storm. A storm is very bad weather. There is a lot of rain or snow.
Did that storm wake you up last night?
Within. You use within to say that something is inside another thing.
Within the box, there was a pizza.
The party. Cody's family moved to a new house. His dad got a new job as a professor. Cody liked his new town, but he missed his grandparents. For his birthday, Cody wanted to have a party. His dad said, "Yes, we could even have a band play." On the day of the party, Cody woke up and rushed to get ready. He started to check his list of things to do. He was so excited. But then he noticed something terrible. There was snow on the ground, and lots of it. "Dad," he said, "how can the band play their instruments outside?" Dad said, "We'll move the stage inside." It barely fit within the garage because there were some boxes and garbage there. But when they finished, they got a call from the band. They did not want to come in the storm. Dad said, "Let's get someone to perform magic." But no one would come because of the snow. Finally, Dad said, "Cody, there's too much snow. We need to cancel the party." "Yes, sir," Cody said sadly. "It's going to be a boring birthday," he predicted. Cody wanted to share his birthday with someone. He wanted to be at his old home. He wanted to see his grandparents. But then something got his attention. He noticed a car in the driveway. His grandparents owned a car like that. Cody was right. His grandparents came for his birthday. "Happy birthday, Cody. We're sorry we are late, but there was so much snow, it made us go off schedule. We tried to leave a message to tell you." Cody told them what happened. "I'm sorry," said Grandpa. "I was sad," Cody said, "but I'm not anymore. I'm so happy to see you." Dad brought out something special for Cody's birthday. It was his favorite, a sundae with whipped cream on top. Then Cody told his grandparents about the new town. It was his best birthday ever. Unit 29. Word list. Burden. A burden is a serious or difficult responsibility.
Children who do not behave are a burden to their parents.
Compromise. To compromise is to agree to something that is not exactly what you want.
We both compromised about the game we decided to play.
Craft. To craft something is to make it using skill.
She crafted the bookcase out of solid pine wood and then painted it.
Dive. When you dive into water, you go down head first into the water.
I like skydiving from an airplane.
Fragile. When people or things are fragile, they are not strong and can be damaged easily.
Fragile glassware was carefully packed into boxes.
Half. If you cut something into two parts that are the same size, you cut it half.
The machine can divide the book in half.
Innocence. Innocence is a lack of experience of difficult or complex things in life.
Everyone who met her found her innocence to be charming.
Lead. When you lead something, you go first and it follows you.
I will lead you to the right place.
Meeting. When you have a meeting, you are with other people.
We have lots of meetings at our school to plan what to do.
Merge. To merge two things is to combine them into one whole thing.
The storm clouds merged into one large menacing cloud that filled the sky.
Moderate. When something is moderate, it is not too big or too small in size or amount.
It takes a moderate amount of patience to be around small children all day.
Overwhelm. To overwhelm is to exist in such a large amount that someone cannot deal with it.
The amount of homework her teacher assigned has overwhelmed her.
Payment. When you make a payment, you give someone some money for what you get.
I made the last payment on my car yesterday. Now I am really the owner.
Perception. A perception of a situation is a way of thinking about it or understanding it.
Since he couldn't see, his perception of life was much different than mine.
Settle. When you settle something, you reach an agreement.
We settled the argument by looking up the answer on the web.
Shiver. A shiver is a shaking movement the body makes when someone is cold or scared.
I got shivers on my way home because it was so cold.
Sociable. When someone is sociable, they are friendly.
Many of my good friends are sociable, but I am shy.
Speed. When you speed, you go very fast.
Speeding is the cause of most car accidents.
Talkative. When someone is talkative, he or she talks a lot.
My aunt is very talkative whenever she is on the phone.
Usual. When something is usual, it is what we expect.
It was just the usual people who came. The Demon's Bridge. A young woman's cow had crossed the river in the morning when the water level was moderate. But when the woman returned with her dog to get the cow, she was overwhelmed by how high the water had risen. Even if she crossed, she still couldn't lead her cow back through the river. What am I going to do? She wondered. Suddenly, a man appeared across the river. A fragile young lady like you shouldn't have to work so hard to get across a river, he said. I'll build you a bridge. The man was not the usual kind of person she met. The young woman's perception of him was that he was a sociable person. He was talkative, yet something was strange about him. But her innocence allowed her to trust the man. I don't want to be a burden to you, sir, the woman replied. Don't worry, he told her as he began crafting a bridge. He merged the pieces of the bridge together with amazing speed. Soon it was finished. Oh, but how can I give you money for your work? Let's compromise. I am sure that we can find a fair solution. What do you think? The woman asked. The only payment I need is the first living thing that crosses the bridge, the man replied. She thought, this deal sounds strange. Maybe he's actually a river demon. She shivered because she realized that he had taken advantage of her and settled the deal somehow. But she had a plan of her own. She pulled a piece of bread from her pocket and threw it across the bridge. Her dog ran after it. The dog is the first living thing across the bridge, she said to the man. The man was angry. He suddenly changed into a half-human and half-fish. What's the matter with you? He shouted. You tricked me!
I have no use for your dog!
He screamed and dived into the river. The woman sped across the bridge to the other side and had a happy meeting with her dog and cow.
Unit 30. Word list. Above. If something is above, it is at a higher level than something else.
He straightened the sign that was above the crowd.
Ahead. If something is ahead of something else, it is in front of it.
The blue car drove on ahead of us.
Amount. An amount is how much there is of something.
Can I use my card to pay for the entire amount?
Belief. A belief is a strong feeling that something is correct or true.
A preacher or priest should have a strong belief in God.
Center. The center of something is the middle of it.
The center of a dartboard is the most important spot.
Common. If something is common, it happens often, or there is much of it.
It is common for snow to fall in the winter.
Cost. To cost is to require payment.
These designer shoes cost more than the regular ones.
Demonstrate. To demonstrate something is to show how it is done.
She demonstrated her plan to her coworkers.
Different. Different describes someone or something that is not the same as others.
Each of my sisters has a different hairstyle.
Evidence. Evidence is a fact or thing that you use to prove something.
He used the pictures as evidence that UFOs are real.
Honesty. Honesty means the quality of being truthful or honest.
A courtroom should be a place of honesty.
Idiom. An idiom is a phrase with a meaning different from its words.
The idiom, when pigs fly, means that something will never happen.
Independent. If something is independent, it is not controlled by something else.
She chose to live an independent life in the country.
Inside. Inside means the inner part, space, or side of something.
The inside of the box was empty.
Jail. A jail is a place to keep bad people.
He was sent to jail for taking other people's cars.
Master. A master is a person who is very good at something.
My brother is a master of Taekwondo.
Memory. A memory is something you remember.
The memory of my first time in the city will always be the best.
Pocket. A pocket is a part of your clothing where you can keep things.
She always had her hands in her pockets.
Proper. If something is proper, it is right.
It is not proper to throw your garbage on the road.
Sale. If something is for sale, you can buy it.
Everything for sale here is the same price.
Cats and secrets. In English, there is a common idiom, let the cat out of the bag. It means to tell a secret. But where did this idiom start? It came from a part of England. Long ago, people there went from town to sell things like vegetables, clothes, and pigs. They had strong beliefs about honesty. They didn't like lying. One day, a man went to the town's center to sell things. "I have a baby pig for sale. It won't cost much," he said. He held the animal above his head. His style was different from honest people's style. He was a master of tricking people and lying. A woman named Beth looked at his pig. He offered her the pig for 1 gold coin. That was a very small amount. Beth gave him the coin. He put it in his pocket. He walked ahead of Beth to get the pig. He gave her a closed bag and said, "Here's your pig." He then left very quickly. Beth looked at the bag. It was moving. She opened it to let the pig out. A cat was inside. "He tricked me. That isn't proper," she said. Later, the man returned to trick more people. Beth saw him, and the memory of the cat came back. She told her friends. They stopped him, but no one knew what to do next. Someone said, "We need an independent and fair person to decide that." They went to the judge. Beth told him about the cat in the bag. The judge asked, "Is there evidence? Can you demonstrate how he did it?" "Look in his bag," said Beth. She opened it and let a cat out of the bag. They learned the man's secret, and he went to jail. That's how the idiom, "let the cat out of the bag," came to mean to tell a secret.